Your body tenses and spasms. Through sheer stubborn will, you muster your remaining strength and kick. Her footing wobbles and you launch one last attempt. Two things happen at once. Isadora rips her teeth free and you both fall over the edge. Hey all you cool creatures. I'm Cryptid, welcome to the Cryptid Plays YouTube channel, and today we are continuing Carnival of Shadows. This time we will be going down Lark's route, and I will put it out there that I have been sick while recording this, so if my voice seems odd, that is why. But let me give you the content warnings. Content warnings include emotional abuse, references to death and murder, mentions of homophobia/transphobia, mentions of blood, and vulgar language, so viewer discretion is advised. And with that out of the way, let's get started. There's several paths, and it's not long before you're confused. Which way? You hear a footstep. Andy? There's another, and then it's just your heart. You need out. Now. You pick a direction at random and your feet bring you to a three-way split in the maze. The lights go out, and something sharp curls around your throat. You scream. We're going with Lark, as I said. There's no way to know where you're actually going. Panic, instinct, fate, whatever you want to call it. That is what's blindly pulling you forward. It's not long before you run into a solid wall. You're expecting it, but strangely, something about it is also holding you in place. Slowly, your brain catches up, and your fingertips dig into cloth and flesh. What are you doing? Sighing, you slump into Lark and close your eyes. You don't want to die alone, or at all, if you get a say in the matter. A familiar face to survive the weirdness that is happening is precisely what you needed. What's wrong? I'm lost in this stupid mirror maze. Moth, you're not in the mirror maze. Look. He's right. You're not anywhere near the Hall of Mirrors. It's not even daytime anymore. Where is everyone? It's night. The carnival is closed. But Andy? Your friend is probably waiting outside, where you should be. That's true. Let go. Despite his tone, Lark gently covers your hands with his and unhooks your tight grip on his jacket. The strain on the gold buttons relaxes, and he orderly smooths the stripes back into place. How could you forget? You nearly knock yourself over trying to add space between your bodies. Lark, thankfully, doesn't comment beyond a raised eyebrow. Can you walk me to the entrance? Yes, that's probably for the best. Without another word, he walks away. You blink, confused and unsure of what to do. But then Lark glances over his shoulder. He motions for you to follow. You catch up in a heartbeat and match his stride. In the distance, the brightly lit entryway to the carnival comes into view. Silently, Lark brings you there safely. He slides into his professional persona and gives you a flourished bow. Even the bells jingle with more enthusiasm. Thank you for visiting Festum Astrosum. Should I come back soon? No. Today was the last show of the season. Everything's closed until next year. Right, I totally knew that. You tried to exit with a few scraps of dignity intact, but your feet stop after a few steps, and not of your own will. An invisible force wraps around your legs and fights your attempts forward. Stop dawdling and go. I can't. You have to get away from here. I'm not joking. Me neither. You pull yourself backwards, and this time your feet peel off the ground. Catching your balance, you blink at the bright welcome sign. The strange feeling around your legs dissipates. You're free, but at what cost? You're still trapped within the carnival. What the hell was that? It was... I had no control. Let's go. He nods towards the carnival, and wordlessly, you comply. What else can you do? What if next time that force doesn't set you free? Lark leads you inside the main tent. There you recognize two men deep in conversation. They pay little mind to you and Lark until you're almost next to them. I remember you. Lark, why did you... Something's wrong. They can't leave. Can't leave? Yes. That's not possible. Doesn't matter. Someone has to fix it. That's a bit beyond my capabilities. Aurel hums in response. His gaze meticulously trails across your body, and you're too stunned to feel self-conscious. You may be losing your mind, but at least these men appear to understand the situation you find yourself in. I'll need time to reflect, I'm afraid. Who do we have here? Isadora, we have a guest. Her heels click with purpose as she moves through the tent. She's beautiful and graceful, but also inspires a shiver that creeps down your spine. Unconsciously, you slide closer to Lark. Lark brought home a new friend. That's unexpected. They're lost. And you found them. Isadora, our guest, wishes to depart the carnival, but they find themselves attached. Similar to... You can't leave. No, What? We're all friends here. You can share. When I try to go, I have no control over my limbs. I get pulled back into the carnival. That's crazy, right? No, think nothing of the sort. But what's your name? Moth. You're a curiosity, Moth. Thank you? Swallowing thickly, it hits like a stone plummeting into your stomach. There's something there tiptoeing around. That much is clear. But why? You're not sure what to do with that information. And Isadora's friendly demeanor leaves you more uneasy than before. It's shallow, and every instinct in your body screams not to peek beneath the surface. Stay strong. We'll report back with ideas soon. Nodding, the reality of the situation fully sinks in. You're going to be here with these people for the time being, intruding on their lives. That thought alone motivates you to shrink and hide until a solution is found. What should you do with yourself in the meantime? Just then, your body presents an answer. Your stomach growls loudly. So, is anyone else hungry? I'd kill for a bite to eat right now. For the first time since entering the tent, Lark pays you any attention. He doesn't speak, but his mouth cracks into an amused smile. What? You know what? Me too. I'll go with you. Isadora bounces over so she's directly in front of you. She presents her arm for you to accompany her. You know, if she wasn't such a terrible person, I could definitely like her, but she's just so awful. We can get to know each other over dinner. I know the perfect place. Come with me, Moth. Yep. Isadora, please pardon my interruption, but I need to speak with you privately. Right now. Didn't you hear that Moth is hungry? It would be terribly rude to force them to wait. I'll take them. Lark rests his hand on her arm and slides into Isadora's orbit. He softly reaches with the other and brushes his fingertips along the side of her jaw. Her lips part, but the words never come. Isadora is so transfixed that she doesn't realize Lark is subtly turning her, removing you from her direct line of sight. Why? That's so unlike you. Is it? My will is yours, and I thought you wished to feed Moth. I do. Then allow me to do this for you. He gently punctuates his request with a kiss to her forehead. The furrow in Isadora's brow smooths out. All right, my pet. You may do this. Lark nods once and then steers for the exit. About halfway there, he stops and glances over his shoulder. He sighs. Dumbstruck, you dash to his side. Every step of the way, you feel Isadora's eyes grazing your skin. You aren't sure what to think of the last few minutes. It's enough to make your head spin. Once you're outside of the main tent, you can breathe easier. Lark, on the contrary, appears worse for wear. He rubs the side of his temple. Headache? No. His hand falls to his side, and he presses on. Unconvinced, you pat down your pockets. I might have some ibuprofen stashed away. I used to get nasty migraines. I'm fine. Raising your hands in surrender, you drop the subject. Lark's brow pinches, and then a note of surprise ripples through his guarded expression. Truly, there is nothing to worry about. Shortly after, you arrive at the heart of the food court. All of the smaller concession stands around the carnival pale in comparison. Is this where you and the others eat? Once in a blue moon. He leads you behind the counter, and you're stunned by the cleanliness of the room. The kitchen practically sparkles. Go ahead. Won't the employees be mad if I mess with their equipment? Then don't. Lark cuts across the room and opens one of the stacked boxes. He pulls out a giant bag of popcorn. Does this work? No one will notice it's missing. I'm not stealing anything. I have money. If only I was authorized to use the cash register. Lark, please. He moves to the fridges along the wall and surveys the remaining drink options on display. You're stealing one of these too, right? I'm leaving money on the counter. Your loss. But that's not my problem. Which drink? Right, we can choose drinks. Okay. Water. Unoriginal, but a reliable choice. Just hand it over. Lark delivers the drink and a giant bag of popcorn to you. It's not a particularly healthy dinner, but it will keep your stomach from grumbling for a while. The two of you exit the kitchen area, and instead of picking one of the tables, Lark leans against the main countertop. So, if you only here once in a blue moon, where do you normally eat? Depends on when Isadora feeds us. Oh, yeah, I guess takeout is fine when you bring in enough money every night. Takeout. That's one way of putting it. Placing your drink on the counter, you try to open the bag of popcorn, but the knot is too tight at the top. The plastic crinkles the more you struggle. Let me. He swipes the bag from your grip and bites it. The motion is so quick that you barely catch a glimpse of large fang-like teeth. Lark tears it open and spits out the plastic caught on his tongue. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would he have fangs? Though you do recall a sharp, more defined point in his smile. Thanks. Taking it back, you grab a few pieces of popcorn and toss them one by one above your head, catching them in your mouth. Well, one makes it in. Lark? Yes. Are you and the others also stuck here at the carnival? Yes, though it was more of a choice. You chose this? Drop it. This time you grab a fistful of popcorn and shove it into your mouth. You tilt the bag in Lark's direction, offering him some too. He shakes his head. You're not gonna have any? It's weird to be the only one eating. That's the weird part? In any of this? Uh-huh. You know what? I think there might still be a snack hidden in the back. Go get it. I have nowhere else to be tonight. And without another word, Lark disappears into the kitchen for a couple of minutes. You spend that time practicing the art of tossing pieces of popcorn and catching them in your mouth. He returns with an unusually shaped jug. It seems old and very out of place. Before he does anything with it, Lark raises a brow and points at the mess of popcorn by your feet. You're awful at this. I'll never get better if I don't keep trying. His head slightly tilts to the side, and you consider asking what he's thinking. But then Lark returns to his original task. He reaches across the counter and steals one of the commemorative cups. The liquid he pours is dark red and odd. It doesn't look right, yet it's vaguely familiar at the same time. He double-checks that the jug is sealed tight, and then swipes the matching crazy straw for his commemorative cup. And you made fun of my drink. Lark picks up his cup and hisses. This time it's clear that his teeth you've been noticing are fangs. There's no mistaking it. None. You take a long sip of your drink, and then you slide down to the ground. Lark copies you seconds later and crosses his legs. All the weirdness begins to make sense. The supernatural moments, the fangs, the... Lark? Yes. I'm not entirely sure if this has to do with the ending at all, so I'm just gonna ask whichever. That's blood. Not even denying it. Possibly. Why? You're a vampire? And what if I am? Yeah, what if he is? You can't escape this carnival. You're trapped. And he knows it. The others too. Oh, they're all vampires here. The thought chills you, but not the ones preceding it. Huh. It occurs to you that your opinion of Lark hasn't changed at all. Vampire or not, he doesn't frighten you. Thank you for being nice? Instantaneously, you feel insane for stringing those words together in that order. Why did you say it like that? Seems like he's wondering that too. What I meant was that it doesn't change anything. To me, you're still you, and I'm still me. What? Embarrassed, you hide your face behind the giant bag of popcorn in your lap and groan. Moth, Do you normally lack a sense of self-preservation? You should be perturbed, horrified, disgusted, at least a little alarmed. I mean, I'm definitely alarmed by my situation overall. Disgusted, though? No. I like talking to you. You do? Lifting your head, you hum and pluck another piece of popcorn from the bag. The atmosphere between you both begins to calm. I do. You lightly toss the piece of popcorn at him and it lands in his hair. He blinks and then picks it out. The shift in Lark's guarded expression is difficult to name, but gradually you discern the spark hiding beneath. Lark effortlessly flings the popcorn onto his tongue and eats it. Stunned, your train of thought screeches to a standstill. Wait, you can eat that? Technically, yes. Garlic, too? Of course. We need blood for nourishment. But to claim we can't consume anything else is absurd. Huh. Good to know. While you let that revelation sink in, Lark pilfers a handful of popcorn. He chases the snack with a sip of blood. Is the vampire thing connected to why you can't leave either? Lark readjusts himself to think. He places an elbow on the side of his knee and rests his chin in his palm. I don't know. I stayed within the confines of the carnival because that's what Isadora asked. Does that mean I should ask Isadora? No! Do not. Oral, too. Why? It's complicated. That ship is long gone. Just leave it alone. I don't know if I can. Please, Moth. If either of them knows anything that can help me get home, I need to know. I'm sorry. Be careful, okay? I'll try. After that, time passes in a comfortable silence. You both finish eating and return to the main tent. Once inside, you discover that it's empty. Lark stops near the center of the show area. Swiveling on your heel, you wonder where the others went. What's next? He shrugs and then looks up at the trapeze bars. A shiver flows through you. It's so high up, higher than you'd thought. I've fulfilled my nice quota for the year. Seriously? Why here? I'm waiting. For what? Isadora. She delights in practicing new tricks for the show. That's what we do most nights. And I interrupted your routine. Sorry. Lark lets you sit with that thought and begins stretching. The light ringing of the bells on his costume fills the quiet space. His back ends up to you. Don't be. He continues stretching and you're left on your own. What to do now? Am I allowed to watch? Watch what, exactly? The playful note hidden in his tone makes you pause. He pivots on his heel. I did not quite capture the playful note, I don't think. My bad. The practice session? Oh. With this whole weird mess, I missed the show. I really wanted to see it. Go take a seat and act invisible. Got it. And capable of silence. A few minutes later, you settle on a spot in the middle of the stands and slide down enough to blend into the background. Hopefully, you won't attract anyone's attention. Shortly after, Isadora skips inside and wraps her arms around Lark's waist. She lifts her chin, pressing it into his chest, and speaks. Unfortunately, you're too far away to hear their conversation. Isadora releases him and the two of them stride to opposite ends of the tent. They vanish, then reappear high above the stage area on small balconies. Each holds a trapeze bar. Your heart leaps into your throat as Lark pushes off into the open air and falls into the arc of the swing. It's impossible to tear your eyes away from the sight. He's beautiful, soaring like a shooting star, burning bright and ephemeral. As the momentum shifts, Lark flips effortlessly upside down, so the bar's under his knees. He swings back and forth, then back again. Isadora leaps and meets him perfectly in the air. They move in a sweeping arc until Isadora's thrusted up and miraculously catches her abandoned bar. She lightly lands on her balcony and Lark flips around to rest on his, too. Every flip, spin, and leap into the open air leaves you breathless. Lark and Isadora's individual feats reshape seamlessly into complex tricks for two, always finding each other and moving as one. Your heart sinks. I assume that we're a little sad about their oneness, but we all know that Isadora is emotionally manipulative, so hopefully in the good end, we have nothing to worry about. Is this seat taken by chance? Yelping, you slip and hit the floor. Blood pounds into your ears as you scramble into your seat. Hi. Please accept my sincerest apologies. I didn't mean to frighten you. I'm fine. May I join you? Yeah, of course. Swallowing thickly, you try to calm down. Lark vaults from one bar to the other, spinning in the fall between. Can he see you from up there? Would he even want to? How are you doing? The gentle sincerity in his tone catches you off guard. You nod, and the tension in his shoulders lessens. I'm good. That's a relief. Besides the occasional bickering, Lark's been great company. Bickering? I'm jubilant to hear that. Orville's attention lifts to the trapeze performance above, and his expression dims. Lark's warning grows louder in your thoughts. Okay, so I think that this one will have help lead to the ending. So we're going to ask him, because I think not asking him is the right way to go. Ask Aurel what he knows. Do you know why I'm stuck here? No, I'm terribly sorry. Could it have anything to do with why? Your hesitation is enough to steal Aurel's attention away from the show. His brow furrows. You and the others are here? Pardon? I'm afraid I'm not following. Better late than never, but it strikes you now that the vampire thing may be a secret. Aurel's concern only grows the longer you sit there with your mouth hanging open. Moth? You point at him. The words feel jumbled on your tongue. Vampire. Excuse me, I have no idea what gave you that impression. I'm not here to judge or cause problems. I'm just searching for a way to get home. Aurel ruminates on your words. Slowly, his mouth curls into a wide smile, revealing two prominent fangs. Fascinating. Truly, you're not bothered at all. So far, no, things have been pleasant. No one's tried to eat me, I think. And no one should. That's a crucial part of the pact. Pact? Excuse me, Moth, I misspoke. Routine or custom is a far better descriptor. Do you understand? We don't harm our guests. Oh, good. That information should soothe your nerves, but instead you hear the memory of Lark's words. Be careful. Glancing up, you spot Isadora swinging upside down and hanging by one leg. You still don't know what, or rather, who, the danger was in the mirror maze, though you have a guess. Is it possible me being trapped here is connected to... No, we're fortunate for our arrangement at Festum Astrosum. Isadora graciously keeps a roof over our heads, our hunger sated, and our safety secure. Aurel's tone is firm. Despite how badly you want to press the subject further, you refrain. He's a dead end for now. For a while, you and Aurel simply watched the performance. Gradually, you notice the gentle tap of his fingers on the handle of his cane. He stands. Excuse me. Oddly, Aurel doesn't move, and you can't decipher the sudden shift of emotion in his stare. Moth, I don't know what brought you to our home, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you for befriending Lark. Blinking, that is not what you were expecting. Aurel's gaze finds the trapeze again. He's more vivid. It reignites memories from a lifetime ago. You're too stunned to respond, and Aurel departs before you can. A peculiar feeling stirs in your gut. What is Lark's issue with Aurel? It's not long before Isadora and Lark return to their balconies and vanish. You sink further into your seat, just in case there's another aspect to their practice that you're not anticipating. Isadora reemerges first, and you practically touch down to the floor. She skips towards the main exit and disappears from your view. Little by little, you rise to your feet. There's no sign of Lark. It's only you and the empty tent. Where is he? You sneak down to the stage area, and finally you hear the faint ringing of bells. Lark? There's no answer. You follow the noise deeper into the restricted area of the tent and find Lark leaning heavily against a ladder. He looks up with half-lidded eyes and scowls. You again. Uh-huh, me again. Rolling his eyes, Lark lets go of the ladder. He staggers, and you dart forward to help him. Don't. Instantly, you freeze with your hands hovering inches from his arm. You don't want to, but slowly, you withdraw. What can I do? Do what? To help you, is that so surprising? Yes. Lark continues walking. His stride is wobbly, unlike his usual saunter. Despite the sting that the yes leaves, you follow close at his side. The two of you end up in a small dressing room. Sighing deeply, Lark slides down the wall and sits on the floor. You join him, opting to lay down instead. Moth, what are you doing? Keeping you company. You scared me back there. Vampire, remember? I thought you were gonna pass out. That's absurd. Could have fooled me. Lark shakes his head, but already he seems a bit better than before. You breathe a quiet sigh of relief. Staring up at the ceiling, you appreciate the easy silence. You let your body rest. The memory of the trapeze act flits through your thoughts. The echo of a few thrills is enough to convince your heart to jump all over again. The trapeze show was... You were incredible out there. He doesn't answer, so you roll onto your side to face him. Lark responds with a displeased hum. Did you at least have fun? His lip twitches and then tugs into a subtle frown. Not the reaction you hoped for. Do you hate the trapeze? I don't dislike it, but you wouldn't choose it for yourself? Probably not. Why bother? It's my part to play, and I do as I'm told. That doesn't sit well with you. Not at all. Biting the inside of your cheek, you rack your brain for another question. So, when you're not doing the show or practicing, what do you do? I wait for Isadora. That's my purpose. You blink, struggling to process that. His blasé tone is crushing, but as much as you don't want it to, Lark's answer fits like a puzzle piece and explains a lot of the behavior you've witnessed. Do you want to do that? Are you even happy? That's irrelevant. How? Sitting up, you cross your legs and position yourself directly across from Lark. He doesn't quite meet your ardent stare. Why does it matter? Your lips part, but Lark hisses before you can speak. His fully exposed fangs glisten in the light, and for a moment you forget how to breathe. Hint taken. And yet, several more questions continue to pile up on your tongue. You try to drop the subject, but one slips out. If you could choose, how would you spend your time? You let out a deflating sigh. A lack of reply may be the best case scenario, but that doesn't loosen the knot in your gut. Yeah. Trailing your index finger aimlessly on the floor, you're forced to acknowledge how much you genuinely want to understand Lark. Who is he, really? Beyond the carnival and Isadora. You may never know, but you refuse to allow that uncertainty to stop you from trying to connect. I'm not sure what I'm doing with my life, in the grand scheme of things. The world's a big place. And dangerous, too. Wouldn't you say so, my pet? Isadora cuts across the room, stepping past you, and plants herself next to Lark. He props himself up to his feet, and she gently curls a lock of his hair around her finger. Wait a minute, did his eyes change? They did! Oh my gosh! They lost their pupils. I don't know if that was intentional, but it might be, because I know she's, like controlling him. Kinda. Yes, of course. That's why we made our home here. Isadora releases Lark's hair and hooks his curls behind his ear. When her piercing gaze directs itself to you, you scramble to your feet. Why are you here? You tell me. The carnival is holding me hostage. Snarling, Isadora slams a hand on the table next to her. The wood splinters and breaks into pieces. The noise leaves little to the imagination of what her strength could do to flesh and bone. No. Why are you in my pet's room? What? You turn to Lark, but his expression offers little reaction. It's blank, and you may as well be standing here alone. Don't look at him. I asked you a simple question. Oh boy. I think getting mad and defending a Lark is the wrong answer, so let's do that. How dare you treat him that way? Lark is a person. A nice, funny, infuriating at times, but overall good person. He's my friend. He doesn't need you for a friend. He doesn't need you putting words in his mouth. It's not until your skin starts to burn that you realize Isadora's hand is wrapped tightly around your wrist. Her icy touch roots into your muscle, and the sensation spreads up your arm. In seconds, the room begins to darken and fade. Your eyes blearily blink closed, and you think you might be on the floor. What did you do? You're dropped into a dark sea in a pitch-black space. The waves erratically rock you back and forth, like being cradled in death's arms. Lark's voice reaches you in a whisper. Moth? The world falls away and your head sinks underwater. Ah, what terrible timing. Silly humans and their need to sleep. Oh well, nighty-night, moth. A distinct scratch remains constant while you slip between the planes of consciousness and dreams. You don't have the slightest idea what it is, but when you're strong enough, you pursue it. The sound grows louder and almost familiar, and finally your eyelids crack open. A few feet away, a man sits hunched over a pad of paper, sketching vigorously. The sharp cut of his cheekbone, the bend of his nose, the soft bow of his lips. The sight stirs a thrilling warmth in your gut. Who is that? You almost ask, but just as the final threads of sleep dissolve, the memories return. Lark, you do have a non-Isadora activity. I knew it. Poor guy. The pencil freezes on the page and Lark's head snaps up. He swipes the paper to his side without taking his eyes off of you. You draw? Of course you would talk in your sleep. I'm awake. Hardly you're seeing things. Ignoring him, you sit up and your eyes abruptly water. The wave of pain hits hard enough that you fear your skull may rupture. What happened? You fell asleep? That's not how that works. Lark shrugs, offering nothing else. Holding on to your head, you breathe deep and endure the ebbing pain. I remember Isadora was here. Did she drain my energy? Can she do that? Of course not. Are you sure? You always seem like you need a recharge after she's around. Lark waves you away, promptly dismissing that thought. You're not convinced, but it's not worth arguing right now. Can I see what you were drawing? This nonsense again. I know what I saw. Come on, hand it over. Sighing, Lark relinquishes his sketchbook. You hold it carefully and admire the unique craftsmanship of the book. The covers are marred with creases, small tears, ink stains, and paint splatter from what you can tell at first. It's been through a lot, but clearly well loved. Opening it, you realize the pages are made up of a variety of scrap. Faded newspapers, flyers, strips torn from big posters, and lined notebook paper. Lark must have bound it himself. You cautiously flip the pages. His drawings are breathtaking. Their soft lines creating studies of cats, birds, butterflies, and people. He perfectly captures the fleeting, forgotten moments of the young and old. Their joy, curiosity, and wonderment at being at the carnival feels too real to only be lines on paper. You find sparse pops of color in marker, pen, and paint. There are sunsets, tents, and booths within the carnival, and aerial landscapes you recognize as the views from the Ferris wheel. Digging deeper, there are sketches of eyes and profiles. Some, you're certain, are pieces of mica and aural. Halfway through the next flip of the page, Lark grabs your hand. Enough. His voice summons you back to reality and ignites a burning blush under your skin. You're beautiful. Your art. I meant your art is beautiful. What? Mortified, you try to pull away, but you can't. Lark continues to hold your hand in place. Unfortunately, in your attempt, what lies on the next page catches your attention. Hard lines from angry manic strokes peek out from the exposed page. Tension and Lark's apprehension bleed into his touch. Then, unexpectedly, he lets go. Lark reclines against the wall and folds his arms across his chest. He avoids your gaze. I'm trusting you. Stunned, you consider closing the sketchbook altogether, but curiosity gets the better of you. The next few pages are like a live bomb, charged, vitriolic, a scream into the void. There are spots where the pencils and pens are pressed too hard and they bite into the paper. Most of the original lines are obscured and buried under thick scribbles and hatched lines. And yet, there are distinct shapes you recognize in horror through the chaos. These are Lark's self-portraits. Is this how you see yourself? His lips press together, and it's evident that he gambled you wouldn't have figured those pages out. Your heart aches. Are you punishing yourself for something? For something. Vampirism is a blight on society. It has no place. Isadora, Aurel, they made this carnival our home in a vain venture to belong. But I see through it. It is a prison. That's why you won't leave? It's why you'll never escape. So give up. Abandon all No, that's a real possibility. I've been ignoring it, but you're right. This might be it. I'm not giving up, though. That's the difference between us. As long as I'm alive, I refuse to give up. The corners of Lark's smile contort almost maliciously. He bends forward as if he's about to share a secret. Did you forget? I'm a dead man. Lark reaches for the sketchbook, but you plant your palm on the center of the page. He sighs despondently. I need to stop drawing. You can't bear that thought. His art is an extension of his soul, and you fear that this book is the only thing he allows himself to have. You're holding in so much. You don't have to. Any dream, impulse, or feeling here in these pages, they're merely a haunting of the man I used to be. A memory, a fragment, an echo of a soul long gone from this world. That's ridiculous. He's not gone. He's right here, and I can see him. He's you. I see you, Lark. And you have everything backwards. The cage isn't vampirism or the carnival. It's this place where you abandoned yourself. You hid it all away. Your hope, your dreams, everything that makes you, you. And I hate the way Isadora treats you. It's not fair. I'm sorry that I set her off, but at the same time, I wish I blew up way more. She can't act like you're her property. You don't have to live like this. I do. Moth. I do. It's complicated. Frantically, you dig through your brain for anything you might be missing. At best, you pair Lark's words with Aurel's emphasis on Isadora's protection, and Isadora's own comment about the world being dangerous. Did something bad happen before the carnival? Actually, when was the last time you were out in the world? Decades, centuries, too long to matter. Exactly, it doesn't matter. The world has changed by leaps and bounds. It can be dangerous, yeah. But that's why you surround yourself with people who care, who look out for you, so you all can keep living together. Careful, you almost sound like Aurel, and trapping yourself here isn't protecting anyone. It's hiding and ignoring your problems. You don't understand what it was like. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for whatever happened. But that shouldn't mean you're stuck here forever. Doesn't the world deserve a second chance? Don't you? Haven't you noticed the changes in the people who come to the carnival? Aren't you curious? There could be a place waiting for you out there and you don't even know it. Just think about it. That's all I'm asking. Lark nods and you remove yourself from the sketchbook. He slides it to the spot by his side. The tension in your shoulders fades with your next breath. Besides, at this rate, I probably need to decide on a circus act. He smirks, accepting your playful tone and change in subject. Then, Lark stands and offers you a hand up. Let us find your role in the carnival then. Humming happily, you welcome his help, and Lark slingshots you to your feet. The maneuver nearly sends you falling right back over. He doesn't comment on your wobbly landing, but the bells fill that void with their teasing ring instead. Lark crosses the room and swiftly digs through the slung-aside costumes until he finds a mask. Let's go. You're the expert. Lead the way. The two of you exit the main tent and wander aimlessly through the carnival. Only a few bulbs still burn, illuminating the night sky with bright neon lights in some places and softer, dim light in others. The carnival is far from the bustling scene you explored with Andy earlier. Many of the empty booths are draped in darkness. It's eerie. Where to put you? Lark taps the side of his jaw while he surveys the area. When his eye lands on you, he slips the mask off and raises an eyebrow. Can you juggle? Poorly. Sing. Not well enough to be a performer. Cartwheels? Backflips? I haven't done either of those since I was a kid. Lark contemplates for a moment, and slowly his smile bends impishly. The sight sends a chill down your spine. Maybe janitorial work will better suit you. I respect the profession, but I'd rather not. Well, you need to do something to earn your keep. I don't know, maybe I can give out balloons? That could work. Can you make them into animals too? If a kid wants a worm or a snake, then I got them covered. Noted. Lips twisting wryly, he dons his mask again. You pass several more booths, and it's not until Lark's pause mid-step that conversation picks up. This way. Suddenly, you feel a warmth pressed against your palm, and then Lark is tugging you in a completely different direction. Where? I had a thought. You're going to need to look the part, too. In a few swift steps, Lark delivers you to the face painting booth near the main entrance, and lets go. The large welcome sign thankfully casts enough light to clearly see the supplies Lark is rapidly pulling from the storage drawer below. What do you have in mind? You'll see. Lark, Sit. The command in his voice leaves little room for negotiation. You plop down on the chair and wait. Lark removes his mask and lays it on the table. He picks up a makeup brush. Don't worry. I'll be gentle. Closing your eyes, Lark gets to work. Light strokes paint your skin, And after the first few, you lose track of what shapes he's drawing. I'm not a clown, right? Do you want to look more like one? You crack an eye open and Lark's nose crinkles. He laughs and it's a deep, electrifying sound. You're in a very good mood. You've given me a lot to consider. And have you made any decisions? Some. The vibrancy of his mood falters, and his guard rises. Lark may shut you out, but you need to know. Can you tell me, please? I suppose. He sets the makeup brush down, and you observe the hesitant way his fingers brush against his mask. I decided if you're not able to make it out of here, then you being here might be nice. This shouldn't be a surprise. It's been clear all along, and yet Lark's confession feels miraculous. You like spending time with me? I suppose I do. And that's it. Lark opts to pick up the brush next and resumes painting your face. The warmth of his close proximity prickles your skin enough that you have to focus hard on staying still. You're a wreck, and your blush deepens. I also thank you for seeing the man I used to be. It means a lot. A surge of emotion drives you to impulsively grab his hand with the makeup brush. You lower it and squish it between your palms. Run away with me. What? When I leave the carnival, you can be that man again. Choose to live. I know it won't be easy, but with me, at least you wouldn't be alone. Your luck runs out. He tears himself from your grasp, and the makeup brush hits the ground. Lark glowers at you. And why would you want a centuries-old vampire following you home? What use would that be? A person doesn't need to be useful to be worthy of a home, or friendship, or love. Anything. The severe pinch in his brow worsens, and he shuffles backwards a step. And who am I to you? You're important. You barely know me. And I'm not asking for your hand in marriage. I'm not asking for forever. The only thing that matters is what we do right now. And I want to go home. I want to live. And I want that for you. Dead man, remember, in ways that matter, you could be alive. Lark walks away and your blood pounds in your ears. Your anger and embarrassment clash in a game of tug-of-war. Ugh, what does he want from you? Frustrated, you drop your face into your hands and, moments before smearing Lark's creation, remembered the face paint in a jolt. You grabbed the small round mirror from the table and realized that he made you match his mask. Like a mirror image, or its perfect other half. You have the yellow cutting through your right eye. and the black and red checkerboard print highlighting your left cheekbone. Tossing the mirror aside, you grab the mask and dart after Lark. Your stomach squirms with every step. Oh, that's cute. Run away with me. What am I thinking? And yet, the answers twirl and dance maddeningly on the tip of your tongue. In no way, shape, or form are you ready to set them free. But one day, if Lark chooses that future with you, eventually you spot his silhouette in the shadows. Even the faint jingle of bells confirms it. There you are. Lark doesn't speak, but his steps noticeably slow down. When you reach him, you offer the mask. Now we match. He takes it, and in a flash, Lark ties it to his belt for safekeeping. Well, the end of that sentence doesn't exist. Glancing around the surrounding area, you're desperate for something to say. You hone in on the familiar tent nearby. What about the arcade? What about it? Maybe I could distribute the prizes there? Perhaps. Chewing the inside of your cheek, you endure Lark's distant gaze. You have no idea what to do now, though this time he doesn't walk away. It's a tiny win, but you'll take it. Oh, I love Micah. He's so cute. Were either of you planning on coming inside? Or is this a staring contest? And if so, who's winning? Lark rolls his eyes and breezes past Micah. You watch him disappear into the arcade. Hi there, little one. Hey. I hope you're getting settled in okay. I think so, but my main goal is still to get out. Really? Micah angles himself closer, and his grin widens teasingly. Between the face paint and the absorbed in your own world conversation around the carnival earlier, I would have thought you were cozying up to your new life here. Or what? Earlier? What was the topic I heard? Something about your job at the carnival? Were you spying on us? Hardly. You walked right past me. Oh, I'm sorry. No, don't worry. It was really great to see a bounce in Lark's step, though he's cranky again. So what crawled up his butt? I'll get each of these because they don't matter in the long run. You shrug. Yeah, that figures. Don't take it personally, Moth. That's his default setting. It's hard to get rid of, believe me, I've tried for a few 100 years. Alright, let me check out the others. The trapeze bar, I think? Micah snorts and then falls into a fit of laughter. When he turns to you, his fangs peek out of his smile. That would make so much sense. Would explain his stiff posture too. Nodding, your gaze wanders in the direction Lark went. You're certain you can make out the rough shape of his shoulder on the other side of one of the crane games. Word of advice, give him time to cool off. I'm trying. That's all you can do. But what's he doing back there? Pinball, probably. I think he finds mashing the button soothing or entertaining. Alright. Conversation got too intense. With Lark? Yeah. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm shocked he hasn't tied you to a tent post and left you there. Just speaking from experience. Oh. I'm not trying to frighten you, Moth. Just keep in mind that he's used to spending his time alone, or trailing behind Isadora. Give him time to cool off. I'm trying. That's all you can do. But what's he doing back there? Pinball, probably. I think he finds mashing the button soothing or entertaining. I have to repair the machine every single time he uses it. It strikes you that Lark and Andy share something in common. You can't help but wonder who's better at Vampire Conquest 3. Your chuckle falls into a worried frown. Penny for your thoughts? I was thinking about when I came here earlier with my friend, Andy. Oh yeah, they even reached a high score. We got separated in the Hall of Mirrors and then I was stuck here. I don't know what happened to them or if they're even okay. For your sake, I hope they are. Good friends are hard to come by. I learned that lesson well. Since you're gonna be here for a while, tell me about yourself. How does a little human pass the time nowadays? There's not a lot to tell. I've had a pretty normal life up until today. Do you have any idea what constitutes a normal life these days? It's been a while. The world has changed a lot. Just the last few decades alone have been massive, socially and technologically. I doubt that. Sorry, I remember things being unfairly cruel, especially for those living on the fringes of society. Unfortunately, the world can still suck. But there's plenty of people fighting hard to fix that every day. That's a fight I'd rather not take on, but best of luck to these people. And with the internet, communities have never been stronger. People can support each other and live louder and prouder lives in the public eye. Moth? Is he bothering you? No! Well, you're bothering him, so give us a few minutes to talk. Alone. They're not bothering me. And secondly, where did your manners run off to this time? I'll give you 2 a minute. Thank you. Nice talking to ya. You meander around the arcade, peering at the machines and prizes you missed earlier when it was packed with carnival goers. A few even tempt you excitedly. If you do end up stuck, at least you can learn to master all the games. It's not the best silver lining, but there are worse things that can happen at a vampire circus. When you circle back, it's clear that the boys are still squabbling. Thinking back to Micah's comments earlier, you can nearly visualize the sibling bond tethering them together. Lark spots your approach and nods his head towards the exit. You oblige and Micah waves. Don't be a stranger. See you later. Walking side by side, you stare up at the night sky. A couple bats fly overhead. Your afternoon with Andy seems forever ago. Did you have a nice talk with Micah? It was helpful. That's good. Somewhat. What's wrong? You both stop, and Lark's brow furrows. Whatever is troubling him, the gravity of the internal debate is written all over his face. You don't have to tell me, but I'm here to help if you want. I brought up your theory, the one on Isadora draining your energy. That is nowhere near what you were expecting. Your lips part, but it's a struggle to get any words out. I thought, didn't you dismiss that? It's been one of the many thoughts I've been juggling. What did Micah think? Not much at first, but I can tell the gears are spinning in his brain, and that opens the door to more questions. On that note, you and Lark head into the main tent. You glance at him and discover that he's already watching. Which carnival job did you settle on? I'll be the official balloon giver. Official? It's a vital part of the name. Noted. I know it's a little silly, but balloons can put the biggest smile on a person's face. And if I never go home, then being able to put some joy into the world would be worth it. Speaking of jobs, have you considered mine? He points up to the trapeze, brandishing his most torturous smirk yet. Your pulse surges into a frantic beat. You want to add me to your act? It's a possibility. No. That trapeze nonsense could put the fear of heights into the bravest souls. Lark laughs hard. His eyes crinkle shut, and his grin nearly overtakes his entire face. All right, I'll take that as a maybe. Lark! He shrugs, smirking, and the two of you move through the tent to the dressing rooms. Unfortunately, the levity is brief. Inside, you find Isadora waiting. She stands in the center of the room, holding Lark's sketchbook open. Oh no. Isadora turns it so you can clearly see the page she's on. It's one you don't recognize. Your face is meticulously etched onto the page. I didn't know you still did this. If I recall correctly, you said it was a relic of a dead man. Something you buried. You swore that to me. You're changing him. He's happy. I don't care if he's happy. I care that he's mine. He's not yours. He's not mine either. Lark doesn't belong to anyone. Isadora presses the sketchbook to her chest. The pages crease and bend awkwardly under her rough grip. Take the sketchbook away. That's the wrong one yet again, I believe. Your plan is to charge forward, but you're instantly anchored in place before you can move. Lark latches onto your hand and squeezes. You're not sure if it's to protect you from her retaliation, or if it's Lark's method to hold himself back. Regardless, you both endure Isadora together. Lark, I hope you know. Her grin widens, and the sight dangerously reminds you of razor wire. This is because I love you. Isadora claws out a page and then a partial piece of another. Unsurprisingly, she starts with the portrait of yourself. A part of your eye stares back from the page, but not for long. Soon, other chunks join it. The landscapes, the animals, the pops of color. That is so abusive. What the heck? Never mind, I could never like a woman like this. She is a word I shan't say. Every portrait of happy carnival goers shreds and sinks, resembling confetti on the floor. Your jaw clenches painfully at that image. I'm what's best for you. Bile burns your throat and wreaks havoc on your stomach. Your anger demands action, but Lark continues to squeeze. His grip becomes painful, grinding your knuckles together uncomfortably. Finally, only the hand-sewn binding and the covers remain. Isadora splits them at an agonizingly slow pace. She doesn't stop until it's hopelessly beyond repair. And then Lark lets go. He steps into her orbit, and Isadora cradles his face between her hands. There, now there's nothing left to bother your pretty little head. Isadora begins to comb her fingers through his hair and rearranges his curls precisely. The change in her expression is astounding. It morphs into something gentle, almost resembling devotion, were it not for the rotten thing at its core. All better now. She settles on cupping one side of his face, and her thumb trails across his cheek. Bit by bit, her head tilts to the side, and you quickly register that she's waiting for Lark to speak. Whatever it is, it never comes. Aren't you forgetting something, my pet? Lark doesn't answer. His gaze bores into her, and he doesn't move a muscle. Isadora hums, and then the corners of her mouth twist and curl gleefully. Her touch drops to his chin, and she rests her thumb on his bottom lip. I can feel it, you know. It's all right here, caught on your tongue. Her nail digs in. Should I pry it out? His lip darkens from the pressure. What to do? What to do? Isadora withdraws her thumb and marvels at her handiwork. She sighs dreamily. There's so many pretty things that mouth can do. But the best, my light and laughter, is to bring joy to your heart. Lark's fingertips brush alongside Isadora's jaw, dropping to her throat. Thank you for thinking of me. You had me going there. I thought something was terribly wrong, but now I see it's a new game. You like pushing my buttons. I'm glad. Isadora inches closer and her chest presses against him. I like pushing yours too, my pet. Shaking his head, Lark steps backwards. The movement forces Isadora to readjust her footing. Don't. What? Feed on me. Her jaw goes slack and you're not sure how to interpret her reaction. Is she shocked that Lark sees through her actions? Or does Isadora truly not know what he's talking about? It's gone as quick as it came, and Isadora regains her composure. She chuckles. Is this another new game? I'm not sure I understand the rules. No. My silly pet. Don't fret. I'll figure this out myself. On that note, Isadora breezes out of the room. A part of you wonders if it's a good or bad thing she doesn't even acknowledge your existence as she departs. You drop to your knees and gather as many pieces as you can of the sketchbook. I can fix this. I can buy some tape and forget about it. His lip trembles, and then Lark covers his eyes with his palms. He releases a deep exhale. No, I can't believe she did this to you. I can. Lark lowers himself to the floor and crosses his legs. It's her true face. I remember the beginning, Arvel and his makeshift family. Isadora was our miracle, and we were grateful for her at first. Lark? Carefully, you set the remains of the sketchbook aside and crawl to him. Still covering his face, Lark blindly reaches and finds your hand. Arvel told me once there are sacrifices in life, but Moth, it was too much. Isadora wanted all of me, and none of me, all at once. You don't deserve any of that pain. No one should ever have to live through that. You're strong for surviving, and you don't have to do it alone anymore. I'll stay by your side for however long you'll have me, here or out in the world. Lark peeks at you and then lowers his arm. He squeezes your hand. Can you promise? I can. I do. I promise. A knock on the doorframe redirects your attention. Arvel inches into the room. My apologies, The shreds of paper throw off his train of thought. He plucks a larger piece from the floor. I dearly missed your aptitude for putting life on paper. What happened? Isadora. Of course. You and Lark get up, and you brush a little dirt off of your legs. Why are you here? Yes. Micah told me that you were asking several serious questions. And I believe I can provide insight. Moth, can you give Lark and I time to discuss it privately? I guess so. Splendid. Thank you. Before I go, do you have any updates on my situation? Actually, yes. I feared to get your hopes up prematurely, but it possibly plays a part in what I wish to discuss with Lark. We'll talk after. Does that suffice? Yeah, thanks. Your face aches from the beaming smile newly consuming it. But you can't complain. Home might actually be in reach. Playfully, you nudge Lark with your shoulder. I won't go far. He nods and you wander into the center stage area. The few spotlights on are blinding. Spinning slowly, you imagine the seats filled and the crowd eagerly watching. It's a strange feeling. How do any of them do this? There you are. Despite the mask hiding her intent, there's an obvious, gleeful skip to Isadora's step. And you know her well enough now to understand that her joy means another's pain. Yours. An icy chill shoots down your spine. Your heel scuffs backwards, but could you really outrun her? You're so much more than a trivial toy in the maze now. Isadora doesn't stop until there's a little space between you both. She playfully tilts the mask to reveal an eye, and then removes it completely. Look at you, all dolled up like you're part of the grand finale. Isadora holds the mask next to your face, comparing the two. Did you do this yourself? Such a shame you got the color wrong. She lightly brushes a knuckle across your cheek and smudges the black and red checkerboard face paint. I think we need some bonding time, Moth. Will you come with me? I think no is the right choice, but it probably doesn't matter at this point. Yes? Huh. The boys did say you were an odd one. A true curiosity. She tips your chin up, and her touch stings like winter air. You endure it. Even if it's the last thing you do, you refuse to give her the satisfaction. Is that foreshadowing? I'm a little worried. Not batting a single eyelash at what we are. You don't even have enough self-preservation to beg for your life. Isadora's lips curl, and she runs the tip of her tongue across her teeth. Her fangs are on full display. I can taste your fear from here. Scared or not, you'll fight her to the end. You should have been throwing yourself at my feet, begging for forgiveness. The next thing you know, you're on the ground and gasping for breath. You sound jealous. Jealous? Well, newsflash, I'm not trying to replace anyone. Maybe I should consider a replacement. Swallowing thickly, you're afraid to ask, but Isadora doesn't let you speculate for long. She sinks her claws into your shoulder, grabbing a fistful of fabric and skin. She drags you through the tent to a ladder, the one leading to her balcony for the trapeze show. Climb. And you do. Blood pounds in your ears. It's deafening. The ladder ends and you find your footing on the balcony. Now that you're there, you would describe it as more of a narrow platform instead. The carnival below blurs until it's nothing more than smudges of color. Soon, your blood will add to it. Isadora joins you, touching down with a feather-light step. Your jaw clenches, but if you have any say about it, your blood will not be the only addition to the collection. You want to be part of the show so badly. She inches forward and you automatically shuffle backwards. Glancing over your shoulder, there's not much room. Isadora roughly grabs you by the hair and wrenches you forward. She growls in your ear. I'll make you part of the show. You do the only thing you can. You fight. Your foot connects with her middle, and she loses her grip. Slipping free, you tackle Isadora to the wooden planks of the platform. You swing, and it's all a blur. Isadora's claws rake your skin, and then it's your own back pressed against the wood. Blood dribbles down her swelling lip. The last thing you understand is the lopsided slant. The last thing you understand is the lopsided slant to her grin, and then Isadora's heel hammers into your gut again and again. Pain blinds you and liquid bubbles in your throat. You heave and gasp for air. It feels like drowning. Then you register that you're vertical. Your hands weakly paw at Isadora's arm. She lifts you higher and snickers. Playtime's over. Isadora pulls you in and bends your body to perfectly expose your neck. She snaps down, sinking her fangs deep into your flesh. Your body tenses and spasms. Through sheer stubborn will, you muster your remaining strength and kick. Her footing wobbles and you launch one last attempt. Two things happen at once. Isadora rips her teeth free and you both fall over the edge. The air whips and squeezes your body as you cut cleanly through it. A hazy part of yourself recalls that this should be painful. You plummet to the ground, cold, lost, a fallen star burning out in the sky. The ground folds around you and the impact is not what you imagined. Moth! You blink and the shape of Lark's jaw comes into brief focus. It's strangely darker in the tent. Moth? The quiet desperation in his voice compels you to cling to him, to reassure him. But you're so tired. Through the shadows, his freckles are redder than you remember. Why? Something in his eyes splinters and breaks. And then you're gone. In a frantic gasp, you sit up. Your heart races, thrashing painfully against your ribcage. Moth? It's only then that you notice Micah sitting a few feet away. You're both situated on the center stage of the main tent. That's why... The spotlights are out too, but oddly, you're able to see better than usual. Across the tent, a beam of moonlight slips through the main entrance. It's still night? Micah scrambles over and latches on to your arm. He's uncertain if he's overstepping any boundaries, and you're too disoriented to reassure him. You're awake! What happened? As the words slide out, the memory returns. You discover stiff cloth wrapped around your neck. Where's Isadora? Lark? Your voice cracks and Micah lets go. He fidgets with his necklace. You fell, and Lark just managed to catch you. Aurel and I got Isadora. You were bleeding an awful lot. Do humans always bleed that much? Nodding, a vague sense of what you remember from an old biology class floats through your mind. You gingerly touched the makeshift bandage on your neck. And then, Lark put his foot down. That's good. He needs to stand up for himself. I've never seen him like this. Never. Lark lost it. What did... Oh no. Look, his pupils have changed. Or disappeared, actually, which means this is Isadora's influence. You shouldn't worry your pretty little head about it. She's gone. Nausea clamps down on your stomach. Your mouth trembles. And with her overthrown, Lark shoved Aurel aside for dominance of the coven. So we can leave? Micah's fist wraps around the necklace. He shakes his head. Lark and Aurel already tried. We wanted to get help for you, but the pact wasn't broken. The bindings are still there. And without Isadora, I don't know if any of us can ever escape. But how? I'm fine. You're fine now, but you're like us. You delicately explore the inside of your mouth with the tip of your tongue. It's shocking, but you identify two razor-sharp fangs. Don't panic, it's fine. Lark urged Aurel to do it. A soft jingle of bells draws your attention to the entrance. Lark enters and he's beautiful. His red hair burns bright, illuminated in the moonlight. Your heart leaps happily in your chest and you propel yourself up. Stumbling to your feet, he saunters towards you, but that's not nearly fast enough. You run on wobbly legs. His smile contorts and you trip, tumbling into the dirt. Sitting up, your throat goes dry. Lark stops, and with every atom of your being, you know the person above you is wrong. He leans down and lifts your chin. Welcome back, my pet. Ooh, that is eerie. I kind of expected us to just die, but that seems much worse. Anyhow, let's go get the good ending. Now we're on our way to get the good end for Lark, so, you know. Where is everyone? It's night. Carnival's closed. But Andy? Your friend is probably waiting outside where you should be. That's true. Let go. All right. I'm gonna skip ahead. Something's wrong. They can't leave. Can't leave. Yes. That's not possible. Doesn't matter. Someone has to fix it. That's a bit beyond my capabilities. Alright. Hello again, Isadora. I'm gonna keep skipping ahead to our next decision. Alright, here we are eating with Lark. I'm just gonna choose a different drink. I want to see what he says. Juice. Unfortunately, it doesn't come in a box. Is that a problem? Just hand it over. Lark delivers the drink and a giant bag of popcorn to you. It's not a particularly healthy dinner, but it will keep your stomach grumbling for a while. From grumbling, excuse me. Alright, let me go back and get soda. Alright, soda. Evil? Do you want it shaken first? No! Just hand it over. He swipes the bag from your grip and bites it. The motion is so quick that you barely catch a glimpse of large fang-like teeth. Lark tears it open and spits out the plastic caught on his tongue. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would he have fangs? Though you do recall a sharp, more defined point in his smile. Thanks. He's gonna go get his blood. The liquid he pours is dark red and odd. It doesn't look right, yet it's vaguely familiar at the same time. And you made fun of my drink. Lark picks up his cup and hisses. This time it's clear that his teeth you've been noticing are fangs. There's no mistaking it. None. All the weirdness begins to make sense. The supernatural moments, the fangs, the... Lark? Yes. That's not tomato juice, is it? No. Then what is it? You're a vampire. And what if I am? Yeah, what if he is? You can't escape the carnival. You're trapped and he knows it. The others too. Oh, they're all vampires here. Alright. So he's telling us to leave it when we're talking about asking why we're stuck there and if we should ask Isadora and Aurel. So, nod and agree to leave things there. The last thing you want to do is drop the subject. If either Aurel or Isadora has information that can get you home, you deserve to know. You know what else I deserve to know? Before I go on with this, I want to see what happens if we tell Isadora no on the bad route. I know we're still gonna end up the way that we do, but still. Give me 1 sec. Alright, she's asking if we will come with her? No. I appreciate your honesty, I really do. Her smile softens and Isadora lightly pats the top of your head. But honesty won't grant you any mercy. Isadora's fingers instantly thread through your hair, tangling until it's trapped within her fist. She yanks you forward so you're eye level with her fangs, and snarls. You've been playing with toys that don't belong to you. Her claws dig into your scalp and it burns. You endure it with gritted teeth. Now, probably in the good ending, this is also going to be the same right here. But because this is the bad ending, this is probably where it's just gonna go straight into that. You should have been throwing yourself at my feet, begging for forgiveness. The next thing you know, you're on the ground and gasping for breath. You sound jealous. Alright. Okay, yeah. The ending ends the same. We're a vampire now. Alright, let me go back and keep doing the good ending. The last thing you want to do is drop the subject. If either Aurel or Isadora has information that can get you home, you deserve to know. But Lark's visceral reaction speaks volumes. There is real danger here, and unlike you, he knows Aurel, Micah, and Isadora. Be careful, okay? I'll try. I'll skip ahead. Alright, here we are watching the show, and Aurel comes up to take a seat next to us. Is this seat taken by chance? Yelping, you slip and hit the floor. Blood pounds in your ears as you scramble into your seat. Hi. Alright. We're not gonna ask him what he knows. Crossing your arms, you hold tightly onto yourself and strive to be invisible and silent. There's no telling what Aurel has in mind or what he's capable of, and neither your imagination nor your knowledge of horror movies are helping your nerves. Moth, there's nothing to fear. You have my word. We'll figure out a way to fix this mess. Isadora has a knack for creative solutions. She does? Yes, it's thanks to Isadora that we have Festimus Drosum as our home. She graciously keeps a roof over our heads, our hunger sated, and our safety secure. Questions buzz through your mind, but die on your tongue. Unfortunately, Aurel doesn't divulge any more information. For a while, you and Aurel simply watch the performance. Moth, I don't know what brought you to our home, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you for befriending Lark. Blinking, that is not what you were expecting. Aurel's gaze finds the trapeze again. He's more vivid. It reignites memories from a lifetime ago. You're too stunned to respond, and Aurel departs before you can. A peculiar feeling stirs in your gut. What is Lark's issue with Aurel? Okay, so practice is over. You sneak down to the stage area, and finally, you hear the faint ringing of bells. Lark? There's no answer. You follow the noise deeper into the restricted area of the tent, and find Lark leaning heavily against a ladder. He looks up with half-lidded eyes and scowls. You again. Uh-huh, me again. I'm not sure what I'm doing with my life in the grand scheme of things. The world's a big place. And dangerous too. Wouldn't you say so, my pet? Isadora cuts across the room, stepping past you, and plants herself next to Lark. He props himself up to his feet, and she gently curls a lock of his hair around her finger. Yes, of course. No, why are you in my pet's room? What? Don't look at him. I asked you a simple question. All right, we're just gonna try to leave. I don't want to cause any trouble. I'm sorry. The apology hangs suspended in the air. You don't move, and you barely breathe while Isadora's frenzy is replaced by a quiet shock. The ghost of your words cling to your tongue, and it tastes vile. You despise the way Isadora treats Lark, but what good is adding gasoline to a wildfire? We were just talking. I'll go. Carefully, you inch towards the door, but in a flash, Isadora appears next to you. She rests a hand on your shoulder and your skin begins to burn. And here's where we pass out because she drains our energy. What are you doing to them? Nothing, I swear. They fainted or fell asleep, perhaps. You blink once, twice, and your eyelids grow heavier, too heavy. You focus on fighting it, but you rapidly lose the ability to move. How strange. I guess the stress of the day caught up to them. That's good. Gives me plenty of time to think. Nighty-night, moth. All right. Here is Lark sketching. You do have a non-Isadora activity. I knew it. You draw? Of course you would talk in your sleep. I'm awake. Hardly. You're seeing things. What happened? You fell asleep. That's not how that works. All right, we're gonna keep going ahead. I need to stop drawing. You can't bear that thought. His art is an extension of his soul, and you fear that this book is the only thing he allows himself to have. You're holding in so much you don't have to. Any dream, impulse, or feeling here in these pages, they're merely a haunting of the man I used to be. A memory, a fragment, an echo of a soul long gone from this world. That's ridiculous. He's not gone. He's right here. All right. You don't have to live like this. I do. Moth, I do. It's complicated. Here we are. We're gonna explore a little bit with him. Change the subject. His mask is the same. I was wondering if it would change, but it is the same. You're the expert. Lead the way. All right, he's gonna paint our face. Thank you for seeing the man I used to be. It means a lot. Yeah, he confessed that he enjoys spending time with us. Run away with me. What? When I leave the carnival, you can be that man again. Choose to live. I know it won't be easy, but with me, at least you wouldn't be alone. Your luck runs out. He tears himself from your grasp and the makeup brush hits the ground. Lark glowers at you. He shuffles backwards a step. And who am I to you? You're important. You barely know me. And I'm not asking for your hand in marriage. I want to live, and I want that for you. Dead man, remember? In the ways that matter, you could be alive. Lark walks away. Ugh, what does he want from you? And we're still painted like his mask. I was wondering if it would change, but it doesn't. All right, we're gonna head back to the tent. Don't be a stranger. I won't. Did you have a nice talk with Micah? It was helpful. That's good. Somewhat. What's wrong? Whatever is troubling him, the gravity of the internal debate is written all over his face. You don't have to tell me, but I'm here if you want. But I'm here to help if you want. Alright, he brought up our theory. Alright. I'll award the prizes at the arcade. That's a hectic job. At least it's safer than yours, Mr. Trapeze Artist. But seriously, it might be a fun way to spend my days. Couldn't hurt to try. Speaking of jobs, have you considered mine? Nope. No. Lark laughs hard. Alright, I'll take that as a maybe. Lark! Inside, you find Isadora waiting. She stands in the center of the room, holding Lark's sketchbook open. Alright, we are going to skip ahead. She is creasing the pages. And we are going to walk away. Ignoring her, you give Lark your attention. You take his hand in yours. There's no point in hanging around. Let's get out of here. No point. Hesitant, Lark's gaze flicks between you and Isadora. You squeeze his hand reassuringly. We can stay or go, that's your call, but you might breathe easier outside. It's not your role to tell him what to do. Can you hear yourself at all? I think you've overstayed your welcome, Moth. You should go. Gladly. You release Lark's hand, but he latches on tighter. We're leaving. No, you're not. Lark rolls his eyes at that and then escorts you to the door. His stance becomes more firm and confident with each stride. Not another step, Lark. Her fingers shake and her knuckles whiten. The sketchbook warps under the pressure of her touch. I don't want to fight, but you're being a very bad little boy. She tears a fistful of pages free from the hand-sewn binding and crushes them. You see a flash of color, and you think you can identify one of his landscapes now clenched between her fingers. Goodbye. Lark swiftly turns his back on her, and together, you exit the room. In a flash, Isadora throws the sketchbook aside and dives forward. Lark stops sharply in the doorway and effortlessly snatches her outstretched hand. Do not. He drops it, and Isadora's brow furrows. Don't what? Don't feed on Moth. Don't feed on me. Her jaw goes slack, and you're not sure how to interpret her reaction. Is she shocked that Lark sees through her actions? Or does Isadora truly not know what he's talking about? I don't understand. Each syllable comes out like the slow, sticky drip of molasses. Lark's defiance cracks her armor wide open, and she loses her battle for composure. Stunned, Isadora is rendered immobile. You and Lark walk away. We're not going far. She'll vanish. And he's right. After a short loop through the tent, you return to his dressing room and find it empty. Lark's sketchbook is in pieces, littered throughout the room. The covers are torn in half like a broken heart. You drop to your knees and gather as many pieces as you can of the sketchbook. I can fix this. I can buy some tape and forget about it. His lip trembles, and then Lark covers his eyes with his palms. He releases a deep exhale. No, I can't believe she did this to you. I can. Lark lowers himself to the floor and crosses his legs. It's her true face. Alright, we're gonna skip ahead. You and Lark get up, and you brush a little dirt off of your legs. Why are you here? Ah, yes. Micah told me that you were asking several serious questions. And I believe I can provide insight. Moth, can you give Lark and I time to discuss it privately? I guess so. Okay. Home might actually be in reach. Playfully, you nudge Lark with your shoulder. I won't go far. He nods and you wander into the center stage area. There you are. Despite the mask hiding her intent, there's an obvious gleeful skip to Isadora's step, and you know her well enough now to understand that her joy means another's pain, yours. Alright. We're going to tell her no, and I think good things will happen in the good ending, who knows? I appreciate your honesty. I really do. Her smile softens, and Isadora lightly pats the top of your head. But honesty won't grant you any mercy. Isadora's fingers instantly thread through your hair, tangling until it's trapped within her fist. She yanks you forward, so you're eye level with her fangs, and snarls. You've been playing with toys that don't belong to you. Her claws dig deep into your scalp and it burns. You endure it with gritted teeth. You should have been throwing yourself at my feet, begging for forgiveness. The next thing you know, you're on the ground and gasping for breath. You sound jealous. Jealous? Well, newsflash, I'm not trying to replace anyone. Maybe I should consider a replacement. We're climbing the trapeze, balcony thing. I'll make you part of the show. Please, I want to go home. I'm not here to uproot your life or to piss you off. Is that so? Yes. And yet, you've done nothing but. I know. You're aggravating. Her demeanor brightens as if that's a compliment. Isadora coyly twirls a lock of her hair around her finger. There's only one thing you can do now. Talk. You extend a hand to her. What's this? A peace offering. Can we start over? Why? Because you don't have to do this. Any of it. Lark, Micah, Arvel, you? No one has to be trapped here. This world is worth living in. And what makes you believe there's a way out? Arvel, he said there might be a way, or that he has an idea that could work. And if that's true, why should any of us leave our home? Because no one has any say in that matter. No one. Isadora points at herself in mock shock, and then condescendingly pats the top of your head. You're mistaken, Moth. Her words drip out gleefully, and she tilts her head as she gauges your confusion. Isadora then bops the tip of your nose. There's precisely one me, and I prefer my version of the world. And then you're falling. The air whips and tears at your eyes as you cut cleanly through it. The burning is almost enough to outweigh the disconnect in your abdomen. Your organs feel like they're erupting from your flesh in this freefall. When you hit, how much of you will be left behind? You plummet to the ground, and the ground folds around you. The impact is not what you imagined. Moth? Your body tingles with confused nerves, sending new signals to every limb. An eyelid cracks open, and then the other. The shape of Lark's jaw comes into focus. Then the center stage and the walls of the tent. Outside your range of vision, you're certain Arvel and Micah are whispering nearby. And lastly, you realize Lark is cradling you against his chest. He cranes his neck to get a better look at your face, and a shaky hand finds its way to your neck. I'm alive? A relieved breath bursts from his lungs. Lark's grip tightens as his face pinches and crumbles, and he softly rocks back and forth. He gently brushes your hair out of your face. Not a single emotion remains hidden. It's all there in his battle for composure. His fear, his sorrow, his relief, his anger. Actually, it's a lot of his rage. An annoyed growl rises in his throat. That was so fucking stupid. I know. Shut up. But his lips crush against yours, effectively shutting you up. The intensity quickly changes as his temper fades into a more tender kiss. Don't scare me like that again. Each word is punctuated with another kiss. Before you can answer, the sound of a throat clearing interrupts the moment. You readjust yourself to follow Lark's glare to your audience. Micah waves. Arvel, are you both all right? Never been better. Ignore them. They're air deprived. Lark helps you stand, and your legs wobble unsteadily. We're okay, and we're leaving the carnival. Auril, you figured it out? Yes, he did. Are you certain? It's my mind's made up, and besides, I never chose this place. I never chose anything. I'm reclaiming my life. Auril hesitates. His thoughts leave him torn. Lark's jaw clenches. Enough. You don't actually know what the world is like out there, or maybe you do. But you don't get to force us to stay. Let us live. The two of them wordlessly redirect the conversation to Micah. He scratches the back of his neck. If there are other humans like Moth, then yeah, we might have a chance to explore the world out there. Okay. Auril nods and his gaze lifts gravely to Isadora's balcony. Go, I'll buy you time. And on that note, Lark threads his fingers through yours and leads the way to the carnival entrance. Micah walks on your other side. Can someone fill me in on how we're escaping? Auril found what he originally recorded about the past. Omnis manere infesto debent ad hoc tres event simul relinquere. I hope I said that right. I know I said it in Auril's too, but... Translation? The important part is that the three of us need to make this choice simultaneously. To leave? The carnival or Isadora? The boys in unison give you a perplexed glance. Both. The bright lights of the welcome sign come into view. Your lungs burn from the speed the Lark sets, but soon it'll be worth it. You'll be free. Is this how you all choose to thank me? The three of you stop and turn around. Isadora waits a short distance away. You can even discern the glisten of her fangs. No more feeding on us. We're leaving. You're done. She skips forward without a care in the world. You're not going anywhere without my say-so. Ever again. Screw off. Isadora's foot scuffs on the ground and she freezes. I'm going with them, Isadora. I can't stay here anymore. You're not who I thought you were. Panic visibly sets in and her jaw goes slack. Why are you doing this to me? Her words tumble out broken and pained, but the boys hold strongly to their resolve. Micah, Lark, I love you. You really don't. Her attention shifts to you, Moth. Instinctively, you inch backwards. The tension in Isadora's muscles are a clear signal that she's seconds from springing. Enough. Disheveled but resolute, Auril blocks her path with his cane, and Isadora snarls. I refuse to be treated this way because of dinner. Stop debasing yourself. The pact is done. We no longer need your protection, and we are no longer your food source. It's over. And with that blow, something shifts. Isadora drops to her knees. Whether it's within Isadora herself or the atmosphere, the bindings of the pact sever. Auril ambles over, and the four of you walk to the exit. Come back! Her desperate cries grow weaker, and not a single one of you gives her the power of a moment's hesitation to manipulate. Isadora's voice loses its sharpness, impact, and volume, and finally she's quiet. The four of you cross through the exit, and it's a breath of fresh air. The buzzing noise of the outside world, of life itself, is all around, and it's within reach. Through the buildings in the distance, you can spot the vivid blend of oranges and pinks in the sky. It's dawn. You look at the carnival, and the hazy silhouette of Isadora crumbles apart until she's just dust, detained by the breeze, and a nightmare best left forgotten. Lark squeezes your hand, and the group shares a reassuring smile. Together you set out into the world to live. Moth! By the street corner, you spot Andy under the street lamp. They bolt, and you rush ahead to meet them in the middle. Where have you been? It's a long story. Yeah, I should hope so. I thought you ditched me and went home, but then I couldn't get a hold of you. I couldn't fall asleep. You weren't home. I checked. So I came back here, and I've been trying to hype myself up to break into the carnival. Andy, breathe. Andy takes several deep breaths and then remembers the audience. They lean close to whisper, "Are you okay? Did they hurt you?" "They're my friends." Andy raises a brow and smirks. "Don't think I didn't notice you were holding hands with Lark." "Oh, that's Lark." Lark growls and Andy yelps. Ignoring that, you pat Andy's shoulder. "Let's go, and I'll fill you in on my night." 1 year later. You're bolting down the sidewalk, weaving through the busy evening rush of people. Glaring at your watch, you try willing it to stop, as if that'll help. Your legs ache and are begging for a chair by the time you reach the art studio. Tonight's paint and sip session is already well underway. Stumbling inside, the class falls silent, and most eyes are on you. You're late. You follow the sound to the 2 easels set off to the side in the back. Lark rests his paintbrush and palette down on the table. Oh, how cute! Hey, sorry, work held me up. They should know better than to do that on date night. You'll have to take it up with my boss. I will. Swallowing thickly, you know by his tone that he means it. Maybe don't. This job pays better than the last one. Fine. His brow raises and then pinches. Did you run here? Oh my god, I just noticed his silly straw in his cup. Oh, cute. Did you run here? Yeah, I never would have found the parking lot if I tried. You're a mess. Big words from someone with paint smudged on their face. You lean forward and Lark meets you for a kiss. Parting, he greedily chases for another. When you break away, you sit at your easel and chuckle. He matches your grin and picks his paintbrush back up. You watch the experimental strokes of shape and color blend, and gradually you can pick out how his brain pieces it all together. Every week, the 2 of you take this class, and Lark never fails to blow you away with his stunning recreations of the example paintings. Earth to Moth. Huh? Aren't you going to get started? In another minute, it's more fun to watch the performance you're putting on. His nose crinkles with his laugh, and Lark resumes his painting. The tips of his fangs poke out from his smile, and a surge of emotion tempts you to kiss him again. You begrudgingly wait for that sensation to pass. The two of you are already on your third warning for exactly that situation. Sighing, you get your palate set up. A short rumble emanates from your stomach and you glance around for the snacks. Oddly, you and Lark are the only station without any Lark. Where are the snacks? You were late. We don't get our snacks. Oh, that's so funny. Oh. Oh my gosh, okay, I loved that. That was a really cute ending. That was a really emotional route. Isadora is, oh my god, very emotionally abusive, very emotionally manipulative, and that really showcased it. But now I only have one more route to go, and I have to figure out how to get the extra ending. I will try to figure that out. At least I know how to get the regular bad and good endings. Anyhow, I hope you thought this was as cute as I did. Sorry for being sick throughout some of the recording. It definitely took a lot of effort to record on those days, but I hope it turned out well enough. And if you made it this far, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of me, but you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. I upload videos normally every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, as well as extras and shorts randomly throughout the week sometimes. I also stream on Twitch and now on YouTube. So if you want to see me live, follow me in those respective places and on social media. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye.